Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I am back again with another class. I am your BGS teacher Janatul Firdaus. You all know that we are currently completing your annual syllabus. Through that process, today we will start from chapter 11, which is some countries in Asia. So you all know that your subject's name is BGS. Its full meaning is Bangladesh and Global Studies. You have to know about your country, and you also have to know about different countries of the world, especially the countries in South Asia and the countries in Asia. So today we will learn about different countries of Asia, especially those countries with whom we have very good relationship with, and our neighboring countries. So you know that Bangladesh is a developing country. We are improving day by day, and through that process we have to take help from different countries, especially the developed countries. That's why we have to keep a good relationship with those countries. And today we will learn about the most neighboring countries and also developed countries of Asia. Some countries are just adjacent near our country, and some countries are far away from us in East Asia. So first of all, we will discuss about India. Why we have to discuss about India? Because India is our most neighboring countries, and some border of India and Bangladesh are still undemarcated and still unsolved, because these two countries are so close to each other. India has got its independence in 1947, and Bangladesh also got attached in 1947 with West Pakistan. But the main idea was creating three different independent countries, but it got twisted and Bangladesh got attached with West Pakistan. That's another story I want to tell you, but I will discuss with you it in another class, because today's our topic is discussing about different countries of Asia. So today, first of all, let's learn about country India. Okay. Some countries in Asia. Bangladesh is in the status of middle income and developing country. You know that what is middle income and developing country? Per capita income of our country is not very close to developed countries, and also not very small to underdeveloped countries. It's just right in the middle and is developing. But in Asia, some are developed country and some are not. But there are huge similarities among the Asian countries. Bangladesh has friendly relationship with many countries in Asia. Of course, Asia is a continent, so in the same continent there are many similarities between the countries, because our climate is same, our genetical formation is same, our soil is kind of same, so our economical and also development growth and the economic process are also similar to each other. So let's move on to India. India is our nearest neighbor. It is situated in the mid-south of Asia. That means mid-south. We are in the south, and India is in the mid-south. So Asia is a continent, and we are in the south. Also, India is in the south and mid of the south. We are in the mid in the south. To its north are the Himalayas. To the east is situated the Arakan Mountains and the jungles of Assam. And to the west area, the Hindu Kush and the Suleiman Ranges. The Indian Ocean is to its south. Indian Ocean, that means the Bengali word for it, Bharat Mahasagar, is to its south. You know that we have Bay of Bengal in our south, and India has Indian Ocean to its south. The area of the India is 32,47,240 square kilometers, and population is about 131 crore 95,77,958. That means India has a huge population. That's why India is the biggest democracy of the world, because its population is so huge. It's whopping 131 crore. That means a huge number of population. Okay, what is the capital of India? The capital of the country is New Delhi. Everyone, you heard of Delhi. That is called New Delhi. It is the capital of India. Let's talk about the sculpture and different kind of monuments and important monuments of India. Cave drawings of Ajanta in South India. Do you have any idea what is cave drawing? Our ancestors used to live in caves, and before we start learning language, before we start learning how to write, we started drawing on the caves. We started drawing our emotions. We started drawing different kinds of things on the cave, and these ancient drawings can be found in the caves of Ajanta in South India. Taj Mahal of Agra, Qutub Minar and Red Fort of the Delhi, etc. You know that India was under Mughal rule for a long time, under Muslim rule for almost 1200 years. So during that time, different structural development happened in India that are caused by Mughals, Babur, Shah Jahan, Akbar. They have constructed many beautiful and eye-soothing structures in India. One of them is Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is one of the seventh wonder of the world. It's very beautiful. And Qutub Minar and Red Fort of Delhi bear the mark of ancient civilization of India. Do you know that Hindu is the religion of India, and Hindu, the word Hindu came from the river Indus or Indu. So it's very ancient. India's culture is very ancient, and their religion also ancient religion of the world. Almost there, although there are different kinds of religion like Muslims, there are Hindus, there are Buddhists, and also Christians in India. But the major religion in India is Hindu. Paddy, wheat, barley, oat, coffee, and tea are the chief agro products. You can understand that India is also a agro-based country. Most of its population living in the village area like Bangladesh, and its agro-based products are these products: wheat, barley, oats, coffee, and tea. They also have advanced in steel, cement, machinery, especially car industry. We don't have any car produced in Bangladesh, but India has advanced that, and excuse me, and they have their country produced car. They have their own car industry in their country. So they have also advanced in steel, cement and car industry. We remember the support we got from India in 1971. Okay, let me tell you something about this support. You know that Pakistan and India don't have a good relationship with each other. So during our liberation of war, it's natural for India to support us because they don't have a good relationship with Pakistan. But the support is still support. They have supported us in 1971. So we should remember that support, and we should understand that India is our very close country and is our neighboring country, and we have a good relationship with India. Okay, you can see in this map, this little thing is Bangladesh. So you can see that Bangladesh is almost in the middle, in the surrounded by India from its all side. So we are so close to India that some people of the border, before now the situation is crucial in the borders now, but before it people go to other side, go to India rather than buy things from Bangladesh, because India is more close to them than Bangladesh. You understand that how close we are to India? Okay, let's move on to the next country. This is the country China. China is a country of East Asia. Its official name is People's Republic of China, and locally it is known as Zhonghua. Locally means in their local language they call it Zhonghua, and their official name is China. We know the country as China, but the people of that country call it in their own dialect, in their own language. The area of this third largest country of the world is 95,98,089 square kilometers. It is the largest population of the world with 138 crore people. Do you know that China is the third largest country of the world, and it's a very big country, and it is the largest population. They have the largest population in the world. The Mount Everest, the highest peak of the world, is situated on the Nepal-China border. That means, do you know about the Mount Everest? This is the highest peak of the world, and this Mount Everest is situated in the Nepal-China border. It's actually situated in the Nepal, but it has in the border. It's also in the border of China. The language of 95 of its population is Mandarin. So you often get that question that what is the most spoken language in the world? The most spoken language is the world, not English, it's Mandarin, because China has the largest population of the world and most of its people is speaking in Mandarin. So Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world. And I want to give you interesting information that our the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, also know the language Mandarin. So it is the most spoken language in the world. China is divided into 22 administrative provinces and 5 autonomous regions. The Huanghe and Yangtze are the largest river of China. What is autonomous regions and what is administrative provinces? The Bengali term for administrative provinces is Prashashanik Pradesh, and autonomous regions means these are autonomous. These have total control over their regions. These are called autonomous, and provinces called Pradesh. They are the under these 5 autonomous regions. That means these 22 administrative provinces are under these 5 autonomous regions. And the 2 largest river of China is Huanghe and Yangtze. So you have to know that China's economy is mostly agro-based. Let me tell you something about the economy of China. Paddy is the main agricultural produce. Wheat, potato, beet, cotton, tea, tobacco, oilseeds, sugarcane, soybean, cocoa, palm seed, etc. are some of the other products. Iron, steel, silk, fertilizer, machinery, cement, paper, sugar, and medicine are some of the major industries. China is highly rich in minerals too. Its soils gives away petroleum, iron, ore, brass, aluminium, gold, coal, etc. valuable minerals. Its forests provide for more than 1,000 species of trees and about 1,150 species of birds. So you can understand that what are the main agro-based products of China. China is also agro-based country, and you can see the similarities between the countries. Bangladesh is also agro-based, India is also agro-based, and China is also agro-based. Because these countries are South Asian countries, they are very similarities between in this country among these countries, China, India, and Bangladesh. They all are agro-based countries. Let's move on to the next country, which is Japan. The local name of Japan is Nihon or Nippon. That means their native people call it Nippon. The climate of Japan is temperate. That means the climate of Japan and Bangladesh are temperate, means not very cold and not very hot. It's in moderate temperature. Japan is a country in East Asia that consists of many islands. You can see that Japan has 4,000 islands. That means the whole country is in islands. The whole country is surrounded by water, and the country is consisted with little and big islands together. Almost 4,000 islands. Islands mean, the Bengali term for the word island is deep. It is that we have one island in our country, Saint Martin, but Japan has 4,000 islands. So you can imagine that, and you can tell it from their map, that they have little pieces of island all over the country. Okay. It is called the land of sunrises because sun rises first in that country. About 12 crore 65 lakhs and 34,000 people live in this 3,77,708 square kilometers of land. So we can assume also a big country, a very big country. The major industry include iron and steel, electronics, ship, textile, machine tools, medicine, electric appliances and heavy machineries. So Japan is very advanced in technology. They have robots, they have advanced phones, tablets, machineries, and they're actually very advanced in technology. Its specialty is that Japan is very advanced in electronic, also in electric appliances. So let's talk about its agro-based economy. The summer is humid and the winter is moderately cold. Some of the mentionable crops of the country are paddy, wheat, barley, soybeans, sweet potatoes, sugar cane, beet, apple and grapes. Its major industries include iron and steel, electronics. So we can tell you that we can assume that Japan is also a agro-based country. They have different crops and they also export different type of crops in the whole world. Okay. But the main drive of its economy is industry. They are agro-based country, but the main drive, that means they earn most of their foreign economy from the industries. It's industries like electronic industries and different electric appliances. Okay. Its capital is Tokyo. Shinto in Japan. Major religion. Shinto in Japan is Japan's major religion. The religion name is Shinto, but we know that they are Buddhist, but the religion's name is Shinto. Its capital is Tokyo. So Japan's capital is Tokyo. Japan has compulsory education for the age range of 6 to 15. That 6 to 15 years of age of people have to, it's mandatory for them to acquire education in the range of this age, 6 to 15. The four main islands among them are Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku and Kyushu. These are the four main islands. Now Korea. The Korean peninsula is situated at the northeast of Asia. It is spread from north to south. Do you know what is the meaning of peninsula? Peninsula means a piece of land that is completely surrounded by water. It's called peninsula. So it's spread from north to south. The distance from north to south is about 1000 kilometers. Most of its northern borders lies with China alongside some parts with Russia. So they are surrounded with water, but they also have border with China and alongside some parts with Russia. Korea was divided into two parts after the Second World War. It's South Korea and North Korea. The official name of the first is Republic of Korea and the second is People's Democratic Republic of Korea. So I want you to pay attention here. One's name is Republic of Korea and other's name is People's Democratic Republic of Korea. People's Democratic Republic of Korea, by this name we can understand that South Korea is a democratic country, but not North Korea. The Kim Jong-un, the autocratic ruler of the North Korea is Kim Jong-un, and the South Korea is actually republic, democratic republic. So there are major political difference in these two countries. The Japan Sea is to the east. The two parts contain a total of about 300 islands. So Japan has 400 islands, but these two countries, East Korea, North Korea and South Korea has 3000 islands altogether. Major industries include petrochemicals, chemical fibers, shipbuilding, automobile. So let me tell you one thing, that these actually two countries, South Korea and North Korea, but in your textbook they have put it in a one Korea peninsula, but these are the two very different countries, and its economic and political growth are also different from each other. So please learn it like these two are different countries. Don't learn like it's the same country. North Korea and South Korea are not same. Let's discuss about its seasons and climate. There are 4 seasons in Korea. Besides, in different times, different kinds of weather are seen. There is a lot of rain in June, July and August. Winter prevails from November to March. Its main agro products include paddy, barley, cabbage, apple, grape, tobacco, etc. Major industries include petrochemicals, chemical fibers, shipbuilding, automobile, electronics, etc. Amongst these minerals are iron, tungsten, limestone, granite, lead, silver and zinc. Nationally, the Koreans are monolingual. Monolingual means the people who speaks only one language. You cannot speak in English if you go to Spain. They only speak in Spanish. And we are actually Bengalis are bilingual. Sometimes we know more than 2 languages. We also, some people of our country know how to speak in Hindi. But it's not same for Korea. Most of the people in Korea are monolingual. They only know their Korean language. They have the same physical structure as that of the Chinese and Japanese. So Chinese, Japanese and Koreans are same in structure. They look same. They have same kind of height, same kind of facial structure, small eyes and small nose and black eyes, black hair, that kind of things. But they are different from the Chinese and Japanese in respect of linguistic and anthropological aspects. They speak and write Korean language. So they are different than Japan and China, because Japan, China and Korea has different languages. They don't speak the same language, and there are also difference in their anthropological aspects. Anthropological means their root, their genetical root, where they have come from. Even if they look similar, but they have differences in their root. They came from different ancestors. Okay. The relation of Bangladesh with Korea, especially South Korea, is very friendly. Korea has been cooperating with Bangladesh with regard to the development of highways, roads, bridges and industries. You all have to remember that we have good relationship with Korea and Japan, and Korea and Japan, especially South Korea, they are the they have gave us foreign help, and we take help from them, and we are still taking help from them in building our highways, bridges and industries. For the infrastructure, for the building of the infrastructure of the country, we have to keep a very good relationship with South Korea and Japan, because these two countries is very developed country. They have high per capita income, and they can help us in our infrastructural development. So we get a lot of help from Korea and Japan. Korea, especially South Korea. We also have a relationship with North Korea, but not like South Korea. We have very good relationship with South Korea. Let's move on to the country Malaysia. Malaysia is an important country of Southeast Asia. That means the only country, there is two countries, and Malaysia and India, that are situated in South Asia. South Asia means just right beside us. There are 8 countries in the South Asia, and they are very close to us. But Japan and Korea and what is the other country? China are far from our country. These are the just adjacent country, neighboring country. Malaysia is an important country of Southeast Asia. Malaysia consists of 15 provinces. That topology is full of variety. Topography. What is topography? The geographic map is full of variety. Its capital is Kuala Lumpur. Its main cities are Georgetown, Ipoh and Kuching. Malaysia is an agricultural country. Major industries of the country are rubber, fertilizer, China ware, etc. Their notable minerals are tin, iron and petroleum. So we can see that Malaysia is an agro-based country, and they have also developed and advanced in China ware, rubber, fertilizer industries. Okay. Georgetown, Klang, Kuching and Penang are the main seaports. The Bengali term for seaport is Samudra Bandar. The one we have is Cox's Bazar, and they have 4 seaports in Malaysia, that is Georgetown, Klang, Kuching and Penang. Okay, Malaysia is an agricultural country just like us, like India and Bangladesh and China. More than 50% of their total population is dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. Major industries of the countries are, I have told you before, rubber, fertilizer. Their notable minerals are tin, iron and petroleum. Okay, you can ask me that what is the importance of minerals? Because the industries are based on these minerals. We extract these minerals from the land, and we make our industries, and the raw materials of the industries are these minerals. Okay. Malaysia consists of 15 provinces. That means it has 15. I have told you earlier that the Bengali word for province is Pradesh. It has 15 provinces. The topography is full of variety. Its west is marshland. Marshland, the Bengali word for marshland is Jalabhumi. Eastern part is sandy. That means it's very dry. And the middle is covered by mountains ranging toward north and south. So you can see that Malaysia is a small country, but a variety, a diverse environment they have. It's wet in the west, and it's a bit dry in the eastern part, and they have big mountains and greenery in the middle. There are followers of Islam, Buddhism, Christianity and Hinduism in the countries. So the main religion of Malaysia is Islam, but they have also other religion, Buddhism, Christianity and Hinduism, and that is Malaysia. So I hope today this discussion is not enough to know about these countries. You have to learn more, and you can Google it if you want. If you have any specific interest in any country like Japan or Korea, you can Google it and learn from there. So you understand that we have to learn about the country that we get help from, and also about our neighboring country. So I will see you tomorrow and discuss about creative question. I will tell you how to answer creative questions, and before the Eid vacation we will get I think one more class, and in that class I will give you a question model, practice it in your Eid vacation, and I hope you will complete your HW in proper time and get ready if there will any examination, and take care, make good choices, be nice to each other. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.